Start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet on campus or live online 2 or 3 times a week. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. MyComputerCareer.edu.
At Fidelity, we believe nothing should come between you and your money. So we're introducing zero account fees with zero minimums to open an account. All because we want you to invest with zero trade-offs. Visit fidelity.com/value to learn more. Zero account minimums and zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Expenses charged by investments such as funds and managed accounts and for commissions, interest charges, or other expenses for transactions may still apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE, SIPC.
0% financing and huge spring savings on new Buicks at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2019 Buick Encore, only $18,999 or just $299 a month. That's a 2019 for under $19,000. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on most Buick models, including the Cascada, Encore, Regal, LaCrosse, and Envision. Spring into savings at the #1 Buick dealer in the country, Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
Bush Machine and Tractor at 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith is your one-stop shop for tractors, lawnmowers, and implements. Choose from Massey Ferguson, Branson, and TYM tractors. Implements from Woods, Battle Armor, and Modern Ag. Find a Gravely commercial mower and get the job done mile after mile and season after season. Bush Machine and Tractor is your #1 Branson dealer in Arkansas and works on all brands of tractors and mowers. Come see us or check out all our inventory at bushtractor.com.
Looking for a high-quality and affordable vehicle? Hertz Car Sales offers a wide selection of high-quality cars, SUVs, or trucks. Amazing customer services with affordable prices on every car. With inventory arriving daily, why not make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard or give them a call at 783-1722. You can also check them out on the web at buyfromhertz.com. Trade-ins are always welcome, so stop by to Hertz Car Sales today. You'll be glad you did.
Where can you get an oil change for just $24.95? Southern Tire Mart in Fort Smith. Where can you get America's favorite brands like Michelin and BF Goodrich? Southern Tire Mart. Where can you find great savings and best-in-class service? You got it. Southern Tire Mart. North America's #1 commercial tire dealer wants to be your family's #1 tire store. We're trying hard with great savings on Michelin and BF Goodrich tires and best-in-class service. Just off I-540, exit 14. Come see us for all your tire and service needs. See dealer for details.
On July 1st, AOG will launch many exciting improvements to serve you better. AOG is redesigning your natural gas bill, replacing our customer information system, and updating our website, customer account portal, and online payment processor, so you'll have access to real-time data, payment options, and account history, all from the convenience of your computer or mobile device. Because of these upgrades, your AOG account number will change on your July bills. For details, visit AOGC.com.
Quit eating your burgers off a coffee table. If you want to eat a burger, put it on a bar. Follow your instincts to B-dubs for the new All-American Cheeseburger. Fresh, juicy beef smashed till it's crispy around the edges, covered in gooey cheese, and stacked to the ceiling with deliciousness. And knock that baby down with a frosted beer at the bar, just like the sports gods intended. The new All-American Cheeseburger at Buffalo Wild Wings. Roar! Please drink responsibly.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Razorback news, podcasts, videos, and tons more online now. Only at hitthatline.com.
Don Le Batard.
Our thanks to Dominique Foxworth for sitting in with us. He has sucked at the reads today, but he don't think so. And even if he does think so, he doesn't think he's going to suck at the next one.
Stugats.
Fox and Socks. Socks box knocks. Knocks and box. Fox and Socks. Knocks on Fox and Socks and box. Socks on knocks and knocks in box. Fox on Socks on box on knocks. Take that, Dr. Seuss.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
If you missed any of our interviews, go check them out on demand. The Dan Le Batard Podcast, brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. Earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment, 2% on grocery stores, and 1% on all other purchases. What's in your wallet?
We've told you a couple of times today, we've apologized for the technical difficulties on ESPN Ooze. We hope to have Stugat back tomorrow. Mike, what do you have for us here? What is Donald Trump tweeting? For those of you who do not know, Megan Rapinoe, who is one of the stars of the U.S. Women's soccer team, the dominant soccer team, said there's no way she's going to the bleeping White House. And the President of the United States went to Twitter this morning and wrote what, Mike?
He reacted this morning at 10:42, sending a series of tweets, starting off with Megan Rapinoe, but it ended somewhere else. The tweet reads, women's soccer player at M. Pino, that's Megan Rapinoe's Twitter handle, just stated that she is not going to the bleeping White House if we win. Other than the NBA, which now refuses to call owners, please explain that I just got criminal justice reform passed. Black unemployment is at its lowest level.
Guillermo, put it in the poll, please. Does the president of our country think Megan Rapinoe is black? Am I missing something? Or
no, I think so. Megan Rapinoe,
she doesn't have a problem with the president because she's black. She's got a problem with the president because she's gay.
Well, no, she knelt in solidarity with Kaepernick a while ago. So maybe that's the connection that he's making, is that, I don't know. You're trying to get me to explain that guy. I can't do it.
Okay.
Let's all get fired. Let's do it, guys.
Well, you can't get fired with I don't know. That one's not going to get you fired. That one's just going to be bad at gas bagging.
Do you know? You explain to me. No, if Mike wants to read it,
I don't know.
Again,
I don't understand the link. Please read to me the entirety of the tweets, please.
Yeah, there's more, some more bragging about how the poverty index is also at its best number ever. Leagues and teams love coming to the White House. I'm a big fan of America's team and women's soccer, but Megan should win before she talks. Finish the job. We haven't just yet. I invited Megan. We haven't just yet invited Megan or the team, but I am now inviting the team, win or lose. Okay, quite a pivot. Megan should have never disrespected our country, the White House, or the flag, especially since this has done so much for her and the team. Be proud of the flag you're wearing. The USA is doing great! Exclamation point. Great is all capitalized.
Can someone explain to me what black unemployment has to do with anything?
Or the NBA's pivot on owners.
On owners. That's just some bonus
take? That was the gambit into the bragging about the poverty index.
Some bonus takes for his constituency on NBA owners. He picks and chooses his spots when he decides to throw politics into sports, and he always does so with the easiest possible thing for his constituency. And I understand people, I really do, Dominique. I understand people objecting to the politically correct climate that would want to ignore Draymond Green when he says NBA owners shouldn't be called owners. I just don't understand what it costs you to listen to Draymond Green. And in his league and in a black league, if the guys don't want to be playing under someone who's called an owner, why would you object to what their objection is?
Change. People don't like change. Simple as that. And it makes them uncomfortable because they're afraid of the future in many ways. And the future is uncomfortable. I think you can go through history and find many examples of all the way back to Luddites, whereas things seem a little bit different. People get uncomfortable. So I think that's what it comes down to. And if there's someone who's going to pop up and say, hey, we're going to go back to the way things were when things were great, and it gets people excited. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Well, I
can't stop it, though. The change is coming.
Well, that's right. The change is coming, but the change is not coming that we change the way we use the word owners, and now black people run things. Like, that's not the change that's coming.
That's fair. But I do think that terminology matters. So it's something that matters, and terminology can get you it can get you out of this network, as we've seen by other people, and it can get people to rally around a particular individual that may or may not deserve their support. It's the terminology matters, so it starts somewhere.
We'll see if the invite stands, win or lose, like the president has just suggested. But that would be a really interesting dynamic, having the U.S. women's national team at the White House, considering how they're at the forefront of equal pay and how they've sued their own soccer federation. Be really interesting to see what sort of what they do with that platform if they're given it.
I'm not even sure what Megan Rapinoe's greatest objection is to the White House. Is it blacks? Is it gays? Or is it women? Because it can be any of them. Like, which would be her greatest? Put it on the poll, Guillermo. At Levitard Show. It's slightly better than that Ray J poll. Oh, too bad, out of time.
You just heard the Dan Levitard Show on ESPN Radio.
All right, bye.
Introducing the new $5 Biggie Bag from Wendy's. It comes with a new bacon double stack made with a quarter-pound of fresh, never frozen beef and topped with crispy applewood smoked bacon. Plus 4 nuggets, fries, and a drink, all for just $5. That's right, just $5. The new $5 Biggie Bag from Wendy's is everything you could ever want. Well, at least for lunch. Try Wendy's new $5 Biggie Bag today. Biggie Bag includes 4-piece nuggets, small fries, and a small drink. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada. Approximate weight before cooking. Price and participation may vary in Alaska and Hawaii.
Sugat's here to sleep really cool and comfortable this summer. Get rid of your heat-trapping mattress and get a Casper. Its breathable foams are designed to keep you cool all night long. Plus, it's softer under your shoulders and firmer under your hips for healthy alignment and extra support. Head over to Casper.com right now to take advantage of their summer blowout. You'll get $100 off every $1,000 you spend only at Casper.com. That's Casper.com. Additional terms and conditions apply. See Casper.com/terms.
This is the Morning Rush.
You're that close to Brett Bielema still being your head coach. And you think about a handful of plays. Did Drew Morgan get in there at the Belk Bowl, down at that pylon?
Yeah.
Early in the third quarter, I believe it was. That puts the game probably out of reach and over for Virginia Tech. You just think about a handful of plays and a couple of games across the career of Brett Bielema, and it's that close to us redefining his tenure at Arkansas.
That's right.
Really is. And they all went against him. If half of them had went in his favor, it makes the difference in wins and losses. We're probably talking about another Brett Bielema season where we probably don't know who Hunter Yurachek is. Many of you don't know who Chad Morris is. I mean, that's where the fate and fortunes turn.
Yeah, but Tommy, there's always another side to it, because if that Hunter Henry heave doesn't happen against Ole Miss.
That's exactly right.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
For almost 70 years, Crabtree RV in Alma has been helping people in the River Valley get out and enjoy the great outdoors. And that tradition continues today with our brand new body shop, a first-class service department, and a friendly staff to help you choose from the top brands in the industry. So put away the devices and get out this summer to enjoy all that the natural state has to offer. With a little help from Crabtree RV in Alma, where your family's dreams come true.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on. Are you running out of room for your treasures? Prestigious Pool Care and Storage has units available now. 10 to 15 climate-controlled and non-controlled units with gated entry and security cameras. They also have RV parking availability and 24-hour access. Veteran discounts are available at Prestigious Pool Care and Storage. Prestigious Pool Care is your local authorized dealer of O'Halloran billiard tables, accessories, and other game tables for your ultimate man cave. See Nancy at Prestigious Pool Care and Storage, 9900 Highway 71 South, or call 648-1213. Edwards Auto Center in Roland has a newly remodeled facility with a greater selection of vehicles, and you will enjoy a relaxed, no-pressure sales experience. If your credit score has been an issue, Edwards' signature Buy Here, Pay Here program is a part of their superior customer service. Some restrictions may apply. Edwards has helped folks achieve their dreams of auto ownership and provided quality used vehicles for more than 30 years. Visit the newly remodeled Edwards Auto Center 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge. The first car dealer on the right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized agency and dealer in the River Valley. The 29 new models of Xerox business printers and copiers represent a quantum leap forward in office technology. They are designed for the way we work today, safely and securely. They're powered by Xerox Connect Key technology. They're innovative and affordable with both black and white and color devices available. For more information, give Dixie Digital a call at 783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing Xerox document innovations to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Partly sunny skies today. A few isolated showers or storms. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the upper 80s. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight and overnight low upper 60s. Thursday, lots of sunshine. A few isolated showers or storms upper 80s. And we're right back in the upper 80s for Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on at OGE.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 66 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Been doing some homework, man. I appreciate the work you're putting in. Your show is really, really good, guys.
What were you doing there?
Communicating. Keeping up with foreign relations. Giving him the bird. The finger.
Yes, I know the finger, Goose.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Football's a game of inches. Always has been, always will be. Plays can not only impact the drive, but the game, the season, the overall outlook of the program. Since 2012, the Razorbacks haven't gotten the ball to bounce their way on the gridiron. Countless disappointing losses, embarrassing endings, plays that will haunt you day in, day out. Chad Morris has a demanding challenge ahead of him in year 2. Will he be able to accomplish what Brett Bielema cannot? I'm joined alongside by Andrew Hutchinson, Hogbeat, and Rivals in studio. We got Bill Keene. He's going to phone us down in hour number 2. Former Arkansas quarterback Matt Jones will co-host me tomorrow's program. Hutch, you're a guy that loves stats. That's really where you butter your bread. You love statistics, and we were going over a few before we started up today's program. This one comes from David Hale, formerly of ESPN, now is a current freelancer. Since 2012, Arkansas has the most blown fourth quarter leads in college football. Is that surprising when you initially hear that?
No, just because of I saw the entire Brett Bielema tenure, and that was kind of his calling card. And really, what I think ultimately cost Brett Bielema his job is just because he could not hang on to those leads. Where if he had just won half of the games that he blew going into the fourth quarter, he probably would still be the head coach today, and people would be somewhat happy with him because he would have probably a couple of 9-win seasons under his belt and things like that. So not surprised in the least when I saw that.
And you actually dissected the statistic even further, pointing out that you had 2 blown losses under Chad Morris in this where this statistic is concerned, 1 under John L. Smith, and then 13 under the 5 years of Brett Bielema. 13, Hutch.
And not only that, but in games that Arkansas led going into the fourth quarter by 2 touchdowns or less, so games that still aren't like blowouts over FCS teams or things like that, they actually had a losing record. They were 10-13 when leading going into the fourth quarter by 2 touchdowns or less. That's incredible for an SEC team to have that kind of performance. I think the next closest team over that span was Tennessee, and they had, they were like 8-6, so they still had a winning record. You should have a winning record in those games.
Back to David Hale's stat, if you want to mix up an SEC team, that's the next closest. It's Ole Miss at 12 losses. So still a discrepancy of 4 losses between SEC program to SEC program when this area is concerned. If you look at just other teams around college football, Western Kentucky and North Carolina
are tied at 14. So Arkansas leads the pack by 2 losses. And that was just a staple of Brett Bielema's tenure, just not being able to close that game. And you can attribute that to fitness. You can attribute that to play calling. You can attribute that to a number of different areas. And the whole idea, the whole thought of this fan base, Hutch, is that there's still some lingering results, that stuff that has lingered from that previous tenure. And that's why they feel, whether it's Ole Miss, whether it was Colorado State, there's a couple other games that they weren't behind in last year, but they couldn't close it out at the end. There's still a sense around this program that they haven't gotten fully rid of what happened in late in games under Brett Bielema.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of saw that. I think it was week 2 at Colorado State. I remember sitting up there in the press box thinking, okay, this is where things went bad under the previous regime. Is it going to be the same? You got a lot of the same players. There were obviously a few key players they brought in last year that played, Rakeem Boyd and some other freshmen. But for the most part, it was guys that were brought in under Brett Bielema. And they just could not. I think it was a mental thing. I don't think that they were able to, learn how to win games. The Ole Miss game was later in the year, and I think a lot of things, the bad luck of players going down with injury. I mean, if you don't have, Rakeem Boyd, Devwah Whaley, and Tye Story, if just one of those guys stays healthy, they probably win that game. Whereas, the Colorado State game, they had no business losing that game. Colorado State was not a good team last year. I think they won 4 games maybe. 3 games.
3-9 under Bobo.
It was bad. So that's a game Arkansas had no business losing, and I really think it was just that mental block of learning how to win games, and they've still got to prove they can do that this year.
Go back to 2016, the Belk Bowl game between Arkansas and Virginia Tech. Arkansas having that just monster lead for the majority of that game, and then just it crumbling apart. Tommy, my boss, made the trip out there, and his boss was, I believe, a Virginia Tech grad or a really big-time fan. And they're sitting in their seats at halftime, and the Virginia Tech, Tommy's boss, and then ultimately my boss was just shaking his head, and Tommy's just like, nope, just wait. Just wait to see what happens. Sure enough, Virginia Tech came back. They were able to get a victory in one of the more lopsided second halves I've seen in a bowl game, not only in Arkansas football history, but just the history of college football that I've consumed over the years. And that was just another day, another Saturday for Arkansas. And I don't know if they played on Saturday or not, but you get the point I'm trying to make. That was just normal because the statistic you mentioned, we'll reference it again. Arkansas in games under Brett Bielema, where they were up 2 touchdowns or more heading into the fourth quarter. It's a great stat that you pulled, by the way. 10-13, man. 10-13. And you said the next best was Tennessee at 8-6, the next amount of loss. That is an incredible stat that you never want to be associated with, ever.
Absolutely. And that Virginia Tech game you mentioned, that was the largest blown lead in school history. I was able to look that up. I mean, there was only a few games that it could have been, and it was the largest blown lead in school history. And making it even worse is that it came just a few weeks after the regular season finale at Missouri, where they blew a 17-point halftime lead, where it was the largest blown lead in, I think, since 1970 or something like that, where it was just, I was like, you could not have pictured a worse finish to that season. I think that's really where things started going downhill, because if Arkansas wins those 2 games, they finished that year with 9 wins. And, then you have a little bit of leeway where, even if they struggled the next year and, they went 4-8, but let's say they finish on a high note, they get to 5-7, or maybe they squeak into a bowl game at 6-6 and lose a bowl game, you still probably give Brett Bielema another year because he's just a year removed from a 9-win season.
Yep. You're exactly right. And we were talking about it on the Morning Rush, scenarios, plays, games, and you can even whittle it down to a play being the difference if Brett Bielema is your head football coach or not. You could say the same about Nolan Richardson. Can't really say about the baseball program because it's been so structured with 2 coaches since the 70s, and Norm DeBryan and Dave Van Horn. But in terms of the basketball and football program, the outlook would be drastically different if just a certain play or 2 had gone the other way. And we're going to more tie this into football. Let's go back to just last year under Chad Morris. The Colorado State game, we got to start there because that was the first loss. And Arkansas had a lead in that game. And you're thinking on the road, yes, they're not necessarily playing the best in the second half, but they're up 27-17 heading into that fourth quarter, and then they find a way to lose. Then the Ole Miss game in Little Rock. Insert Little Rock joke there, playing at War Memorial Stadium. Even though I'm from Little Rock, I still like to occasionally make fun of those. But they're up in that game as well. They're up 33-24 in that one. Now, there's a difference in that game because of the injury to Tye Story and that concussion that he suffered. He did suffer concussion. Okay, I just want to clarify that. And you had to bring in Cole Kelly and just kind of the outlook. You mentioned Rakeem Boyd. And who was the other player that got injured?
Devwall Whaley, your top two running backs.
Yeah, so you had a lot of depth that was just depleted like that. So that's a little different. That you don't want to say it's acceptable the way they lost, but those are just two that you can't have this year. You can't allow fans to sulk. It's one thing to lose football games, but for them to continuously see the same way you lose, just like they saw countless times in the Brett Bielema era, that's only going to hurt Chad Morris and his staff because you're trying to build a reputation off a 2-10 season. If you aren't able to finish games, that's not going to help your reputation with this fan base.
Absolutely, and that Ole Miss game was referenced by Chad Morris after the season as saying, this game, after they lost that game, after they found a way to lose, they kind of mailed it in. I mean, you saw it, from that point on. Obviously they beat Tulsa, but again, that's not a very good Tulsa team. You win that game, but then just horrible efforts to end the year with Mississippi State and Missouri. You had all the flirting with the dance team at Mississippi State, just bad headline after bad headline. And really it all started with that Ole Miss game when you couldn't find a way to win. And some of the older players that have been a part of it for the last 3 or 4 years before then kind of mailed it in and said, oh, here we go again. And that's kind of led to a really, really bad finish.
And we need to be honest with ourselves as we're on this program right now. It's not easy to completely change your mindset when you've been used to something for so long. The transition I had from working there in Nashville to doing part-time to doing full-time in the radio, the expectations were a lot higher than I was there in Nashville. I'm sure over the different various jobs you've worked over the years, expectations are changing. You have a new boss, you have new structure, you have various new things that you're not used to initially that may seem odd, that you may not be a fan of first. But you got to be able to adjust. You have to be able to either buy in or, frankly, just transfer. If you're not bought in at this point in year 2 under Chad Morris, and there's still got some guys, there's not a ton, but there still is some guys left over from the Brett Bielema tenure, then I don't know what you're still doing in Fayetteville because the train's left. It's gone. It's got a new conductor. You either have to be 100% bought in, or I don't still know what you're doing a part of the football program at this point.
Yeah, and I think that's why you've seen so many guys leave. I don't have the actual number in front of me, but I mean, it's in the teens or maybe even approaching 20 players that have left the program, and some guys have been somewhat surprising. Some guys just want to go to places where they can play. You're seeing this across all of college football, so it's not something unique to Arkansas. But I think that's part of the solution is getting rid of some of these guys that are locker room cancers or things like that, and bringing in new guys, a new culture, obviously a new level of talent. Arkansas brought in a pretty good recruiting class this past year, but they need the results on the field if they're going to continue bringing in good recruiting classes, and that's part of that is changing the culture and getting it where they find a way to win these games. We were discussing where they found ways to lose. So still long way to go. I don't think anyone's expecting them to compete for a national championship this year, but they do need to show some signs of improvement this year and win the games that they are in position to win.
See, it's one thing to recruit off the prospect of playing time because, as we saw this past season, that seems like the memento that Chad Morris and his staff were using to lure recruits onto a team that went 2-10 the previous year. And that seemed to work at arguably the second best class in school history, most 4-stars, and you could list more accolades. But there has to be improvement, like you're saying. You cannot deliver the same message if this football team was to go 2-10 this year. That's just not going to work. And we've always said on this station that the floor has to be 5 wins. You've got to win those 4 non-conference games and at least 1 SEC game. Anything else, I think, is unacceptable. And so if you want to stay and keep improving on recruiting, if you want to keep improving your reputation with high school kids that saw an Arkansas team's best highlight being a fake punt return against North Texas, you have to not only change the mindset of your current players on campus, but the ones that possibly will be joining you to help change this program.
Exactly. You got to have these guys come in, and guys like Trey Knox, they're coming here because they see, hey, I can play wide receiver as a freshman. I can get in there, but eventually you're not going to be able to keep telling people that. You're not going to be able to tell, 4-star John Smith, wide receiver from Texas, hey, you can come in here and play if you've got 3 sophomore 4-star guys that are already playing ahead of you. So you've got to show some winning. You've got to be able to tell kids, hey, come here, and here by the time you leave, by the time you're a junior, senior, we're going to be competing for college football playoff games, or at least games like the Cotton Bowl and the upper tier bowl games, the New Year's Six games. So they still need to win games if they're going to continue to bring in even decent quality recruits.
Recruiting pitches are ever changing. You can't keep using the same sales pitch. Even Alabama, as many championships they've won over the years, have changed up their not only philosophies on the football field, but in certain aspects, ways they recruit. Chad Morris and his staff have really taken advantage of the social media side of things, and that's where they've really tried to find their niche, and they've done other things. You have to be willing to change. Now, there's certain things you need to be solid in your foundation in. There's certain things you need to be stubborn when it concerns certain topics, but you can't be just expecting kids to continuously want to come to Arkansas for playing time, because what does playing time usually mean, Hutch? It means the team wasn't that good, and the guys that are already on campus could be losing their jobs. And again, we mentioned that worked this past year. It seemed to work. We'll see how these kids turn out, but this looks like a pretty good class just from looking at it on paper. Still got to develop these guys, still got to make sure they produce on the football field. But I don't know if you can say this is a one-year thing where they just advertise PT 1 year, but you can't do it for 5 years. That's just not going to work.
Yeah, you can do it maybe an extended period of time at certain positions. Say, hey, look at linebacker. We really need some big-time linebackers to come in and give us some reps early. But you can't do it across the board. They were able to do that across the board this year, particularly positions like wide receiver, defensive line. But you're going to have to start producing some wins if you're going to get some quality guys to come in here. And if you're going to have to sit the bench for a year and a half, 2 years, something like that, you at least want to be a part of a winning program and get to experience cool things like going to bowl games and things like that. So, it's something they're going to have to figure out, how to win games if they're going to keep bringing in top-notch recruiting classes.
If you look at the programs that Eric Musselman and Chad Morris inherited, I think the consensus amongst Arkansas media members is that Eric Musselman got a much better deal picking up where Mike Anderson left off than Chad Morris picking up where Brett Bielema left off. Because if you think about the motorcycle wreck, John L. Smith, and Brett Bielema doing what he did, that's 3 just off-the-cuff obstacles that Chad Morris is having to make up from. Mike Anderson improved the program from Stan Heath and John Pelfrey. And I'm not going to say it's at its pinnacle by any means. I'm not going to say it's just incredible and it's ripe for the picking and whatnot. But Muss definitely has a better situation that he's walked into than Chad Morris. And so that being said, these obstacles that I was talking about, these different plays impacting this football team, this football program as a whole, the possibility and just the assumption that the new quarterbacks coming in are going to help these tight window games, these close games, these games where you need a QB or you need a guy to make a play. Because I think you and I and everyone else is just under the assumption that the quarterbacks may or may not be the difference of this ball club. And we don't think they're going to put up Tua or Jake Fromm or Johnny Manziel type numbers, but there at least is the perception that these quarterbacks will help them compete more down the stretch in games than Ty Story and Cole Kelly did last year.
I think so, just because they're familiar with this kind of system. I mean, Ben Hicks, obviously, because he played for Chad Morris. He played, in this system in the past, so he knows, what's supposed to happen. I mean, Ty Story, Cole Kelly, they weren't recruited for this kind of system. They were recruited for the pro-style system that Brett Bielema ran. So it's really hard to blame them. Who knows if they had spent their entire career in this kind of system, maybe they would have, had more success than they did. But I do think that having these guys come in, Ben Hicks being able to go through spring, be able to get adjusted with some of these young guys like Trey Knox, Shamar Nash. I think they're going to help, especially early on in the season. And maybe if they can help early in the season, maybe you kind of build some confidence. Maybe you don't have a Colorado State meltdown where you start thinking, oh, here we go again. It's one of those things where it kind of builds on itself, and maybe they get to a point where they can win some of those games with a Nick Starkel or something like that. So it's something to keep an eye on and something to at least be excited about coming off a 2-10 season, as you've got these guys coming in that have experience in these systems. Nick Starkel has experience in the SEC. I think there's at least some reason for optimism and excitement, even if it isn't, going to win a national championship.
And it's not misplaced necessarily, but there is the idea of the optimism, not only Ben Hicks coming in, being a former Chad Morris system quarterback, but just the overall team. Outside of the freshmen, a lot of the freshmen that you just mentioned and every other freshman coming in, the team was under Chad Morris's offense and then John Chavis's defense last year. And this was an offense that he often referred to that they only had, 30% installed? So you would think, I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before, but you would think that everyone on the football team would have a better grasp of the system that Chad Morris is trying to instill in year 2. Now, again, I've been wrong before, and I could be right. I hope I'm not wrong about this, because if they're taking a backwards turn on just the playbook as a whole in year 2, you're in treacherous waters, buddy. But I think also people are excited about not only the quarterbacks who seem to probably have a better grasp of the system coming in, particularly Ben Hicks, but the team as a whole.
Yeah, and I think you usually see some improvement from year 1 to year 2. I mean, we saw it with Brett Bielema. I mean, the first year under Brett was 3-9 and really, really bad. But they looked decent, in that second year. I think they won 6-6 in the regular season, 7-6 after the bowl game, and they showed improvements on offense. They obviously didn't hit their peak on offense until the following year, but they at least showed some improvement, and that gave you some encouraging signs moving forward. And you definitely want to see that in year 2 under Chad, because if as you said, if you don't, it's not going to go well for you.
What do you think? 877-377-6963. You can get us at Twitter, at HitThatLineAR. He's at NWA Hutch. I'm at Tye Sports Radio. What do you think about this whole conversation? Does Arkansas have what it takes? Not necessarily to close out every single game in the fourth quarter, but at least better than the way they did last year and then what they did under Brett Bielema. Coming up on halftime, will Dave Van Horn get every recruit in this class in Arkansas? It sure looks like it. This is halftime. ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime.
This is Mark Hurst. How important is new technology? That's a question I was recently asked by a student at a career day presentation at a local school. At Hurst Family Dental Care, we use new technology like digital x-rays, an iTero scanner instead of those messy impressions, and an Invisalign outcome simulator which can show you within minutes how Invisalign can straighten your teeth. Give us a call at 474-1972 and let us show you how new technology makes a difference in the way we are able to care for you. Hurst Family Dental Care, a name you know and a name you can trust.
At Frankfurt Furniture, we believe in supporting our country, and we want to invite you to shop our Made in the USA brands like Jackson, Catnapper, Best Home Furnishings, Medlift, and Union Furniture made right here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Check out our Justice mattresses and our Kingdom mattresses, also made in Fort Smith, Arkansas. 100% made in the USA Speed Clean washers and dryers. We have them. Tell us you heard this commercial and receive free delivery. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house. Your Made in the USA headquarters.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598.
Cofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, has been helping our customers create a lifetime of family memories for over 45 years. Cofer's carries the brands you trust like low aluminum fishing boats, low pontoons, and Bayliner powered by Mercury. Fish the finest in Triton tournament bass boats to fit every budget. Or come check out the best-selling towboats in the industry from Malibu and Axis, ready to create the best wakes and surf waves you've ever experienced. Stop by and see all the options available for your family's time on the water at Cofer's or visit our website at cofers.com.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue. Unlimited personal group training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club. Personal group training is a great way to create accountability for your fitness while improving mobility, endurance, and overall wellness. Reach your fitness goals faster with personal group training. Only $60 a month. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. These workouts are high intensity and get results in under an hour. Only $60 a month. Call for class schedules and details. 479-926-0193. Results happen here at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
What happened to paying one price and getting everything included? You buy an airline ticket and pay extra to bring a change of clothes, book a hotel room, and you're shelling out for Wi-Fi and overpriced bottled water. Shipping and handling. Really? Imagine my delight when I found out roadside assistance is now included with my shelter insurance auto policy. So if I get a flat tire or need a jump, I just call and they take care of me. No additional cost. Some restrictions apply, so learn more at shelterinsurance.com.
Ask shelter agents Ted McAvoy or Jeff Clark about a free insurance review.
This is the Morning Rush.
You'd have to have a lot of success for A&M to hire the Arkansas coach. These other schools and these other institutions don't look at Arkansas in that way. That it's a statement of pride to hire the Arkansas coach. It'd actually be a good thing for Arkansas if he was a candidate for a job, a true legitimate candidate. It would mean he had real legitimate success.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
That's two thus far, shooter.
Oh, you can count. Good for you.
And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot.
Friendly reminder, you can listen to all of our podcasts on hitthatline.com. The Halftime Pod presented by Jeff's Clubhouse, the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. It's there. It's Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. Anything you miss from the 2-hour halftime show or the 3-hour Morning Rush show, we usually put our best content, our best interviews on there. Hitthatline.com and wherever podcasts are found. For over 80 years, Rhodes Chevrolet has been a name you can trust. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying, car owning experience. From the first time you walk in their showroom, you're treated like family. Part of a family-owned dealership and service department that has served the River Valley for over 8 decades. You can find your next dependable vehicle today at 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren or at roadchevy.com. Dependable since 1934. Hutch, you wrote a really good article talking about how it doesn't look like that Dave Van Horn and this baseball staff is going to lose not one, not two, but any recruit in this 2019 recruiting class. Tell us about that.
Yeah, every year Arkansas has to battle. When you're a program like Arkansas that wins as much as it does, and you're bringing in these high quality recruits, you're probably going to lose some of them to the MLB draft. Guys, it's not like the NBA, it's not like the NFL. You can actually go pro straight out of high school or junior college. And every year it seems like Arkansas has one or two guys that get drafted and they decide to sign for $1 million or so instead of coming to Arkansas. Hard to blame them. But this year they only had 3 players drafted. And based on what Dave Van Horn said Monday in the end of the season press conference, it sounds like all 3 of them are going to make it to campus, which is, unheard of. I mean, Dave Van Horn was actually asked about it. Has this ever happened? And he said, no, this is the first time he would ever have experienced it.
And Chad Allison is one of the guys that you quoted in your article talking about he thinks he can double his signing money by just coming to Arkansas. And I know there was a statistic that you pulled out. I don't remember if it was Baseball America, that 51 of the first 78 guys played college baseball in the first rounds of the draft. and that is the highest it's been in quite some. Is it ever quite some time?
It's the second most and most since 1981.
So 30 some odd years.
Yeah.
That's a telling stat that if you're a college baseball coach, not only the SEC, but just anywhere, to show these kids, hey, a lot of these guys drafted, they came to college and made more money. And I know that's one of the things Chet references. I think I could double my money here. And that's a recruiting pitch that I think Dave has often used at his times at Arkansas, showing these kids through various examples, whether it's Isaiah Campbell. Benintendi was drafted out of high school, right? That's another one. I mean, you can go on and on. Countless examples where Dave can showcase his own guys that were debating this decision. Hey, this is what we talked about, and this is what happened for this kid. That's got to, and this is baseball, such a difficult sport with 11.7 scholarships, the option to go pro right out of high school to recruit. At least now the coaches, just from our perspective, looks like there's more advantages that are kind of tipping towards them in just terms of, hey, you're going to make more money if you come to college first.
Yeah, and you also got to remember, if you come to college, you're playing in the SEC for, say, 3 years, if you're a high school kid, and you get that development, maybe you can skip single A ball, low A ball, maybe, high A advanced. You can skip these levels of Major League Baseball, and you can get to the pros super quick. I mean, remember, Andrew Benintendi was only a minor leaguer for like a year and a half. And that's where you make your real money. Yeah, you get a signing bonus for, say if you're a first-round pick, $5 million. That's a one-time payment of $5 million. That's a lot of money. But in the in the minors, you're not making very much as a salary. Where you make your big money is if you make it to the big leagues. And if you go to college, you're going to get to the big leagues quicker. It's just proven to be that way. I mean, Alex Bregman was in that class with Benintendi. There's a bunch of guys that came out of the SEC that year that are already in the big leagues and making a ton more money. So it's very advantageous to go to college.
I mean, Corbin can show you Price. He can show you Swanson. He can show you, was it Bueller? He can show you various guys that are in, and this is his College World Series team. He's getting a lot of attention. And now the most recent example is a guy named Kumar Rocker. Bill Keene, who we're going to have on in hour number 2, told us about him last fall. This kid was a projected top 5 pick in the MLB draft, and as Tommy mentioned on the Morning Rush, he's the son of former SEC coordinator in a lot of different places, Tracy Rocker. His mom was very advantageous about saying, you're going to school. She's very adamant. She said, you're going to college. This kid was incredible through a no-hitter against Duke in an elimination game in the Super Regional. Does what he does against Michigan last night, strikes out 11, and was incredible. And I'm not saying, I don't know, he was a projected top 5 pick. He still got 2 more years, but I mean, even him, this guy now, it looks like they're saying he has the potential to be the number 1 pick 2 years down the line.
Yeah, not only that, but we're a radio station in Arkansas talking about Kumar Rocker.
Yeah.
If he had gone pro out of high school, he'd be pitching at some single A ballpark, maybe double A, and no one would really be caring about it. No one would be really watching it. I mean, you could play in front of 2,000 fans and have to bus 6 hours to your next game, or you can come to Arkansas, come to Vanderbilt, play in front of packed stadiums of 10,000, play in the College World Series in front of 20, 25,000 people, and you get to fly to all your games and get pampered. To me, it makes sense if you want to go to college rather than turn pro, if your family situation allows for it, which of course, Tracy Rocker, his kid, has that advantage.
What do you know about this Miller? Is it Plyman? What do you know about this kid transferring in from Wichita State?
Yeah, I think that's how you say his last name. I'm not 100% sure, but I actually had a chance to talk to him. He's a Fayetteville kid, went to Fayetteville High School, went to Wichita State as a freshman. He didn't exactly put up big numbers as a freshman with Todd Butler, former Arkansas assistant. He pitched a little bit, maybe 19 innings, something like that, ERA in the 6. So it's not really something you get super excited about on the surface. But if you look at him, he's 6'4", still only, I think he's a $190, something like that. So he's still pretty skinny. He even told me when I talked to him on the phone, he's like, I'm pretty skinny for my size. If he can bulk up, which Arkansas has done in the past where they've added weight. And
so you have a Costi type look?
Yeah, exactly. And Kostichuk put on 15, 20 pounds, something like that, and look what he did this year. And so it could be something similar with Miller. He could put on that weight, add velocity, and be a pretty solid bullpen arm for him here. Maybe not next year if he gets eligible right away. He's still waiting on that waiver. but he could, down the line, be a pretty solid bullpen arm for him.
We'll close on this. With the conversation we're talking about, the fact that you still have the choice in baseball to go straight to the major leagues, or at least attempt to and get drafted, or play 3 years. And I know there's draft eligible with the age, and you can kind of couple that factor in. This just makes me more inclined to want this idea, want this concept to be associated not only with NCAA baseball, but basketball and football as well. And I get there's certain situations financially where kids are better off by just going straight to the NFL. I think you and I grew up not really having to worry about where we're going to eat dinner that night or anything like that. I have very few friends that have ever been in that situation, but some of these kids, they are currently in that situation. And I just think, and again, I don't know every logistic. I can't tell you every little detail. I'm just talking about as a broad perspective on this. I think the NCAA would be better off going with the 3 and go, or just go straight out of high school. But I'm assuming it presents a lot more problems that aren't coming to mind currently.
Yeah, you always got to factor in that, there's going to be kids that can go pro straight out. I mean, Zion Williamson, you can't tell me he couldn't have played in the NBA this year.
Correct.
He definitely could have. But then there's also some kids who may say, hey, I need the money. I want to go pro, and you never hear from them again. And that's what you want to avoid. But at least with basketball and football, you're talking about guys with full scholarships, and they can get all these advantages where they have all these free food. The facility they have at Arkansas is phenomenal, where you get amazing food. And
we never got to eat there, did we?
No. And so it works better for baseball, because these kids, if you come to Arkansas, you may only be on a quarter of a scholarship or half of a scholarship, and you're still having to either take out student loans, or maybe you've got some academic scholarships. I mean, it's a puzzle for 11.7 scholarships. So it's not quite as easy as saying that, especially, basketball is probably the only one where it would work, because I can't imagine a high school football player, no matter who it is, being just physically able to go straight from that to the NFL, unless there's some sort of developmental league that comes up. But we've seen how those have crash and burn through the years.
Yeah, they often do. Do you own a business that needs more security, or just may need more curb appeal? How about a new fence from the Fence Man? It can give you both. Fence Man specializes in custom installations, and they've been doing it for over 40 years. Gates, controlled access, card readers. Call the Fence Man for a no-obligations quote. Give Henry a call today, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, 782-3936. A division of Quantum Property Services. All right, coming up, FanDuel's come out with their season win totals. Where's Arkansas on this list? Stay tuned to what we reveal next on Halftime. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. This is Halftime.
It's Ram Truck Month at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on 2018 and 2019 Ram 1500 Classics, or 2018 Ram 2500 or 3500. Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has a great selection of Ram trucks to choose from. Hurry, this offer ends July 1st. Come see us at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler, Oklahoma. Some restrictions do apply. See dealer for details.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, has been helping our customers create a lifetime of family memories for over 45 years. Kofer's carries the brands you trust, like low aluminum fishing boats, low pontoons, and Bayliner powered by Mercury. Fish the finest in Triton Tournament bass boats to fit every budget. Or come check out the best-selling towboats in the industry from Malibu and Axis, ready to create the best wakes and surf waves you've ever experienced. Stop by and see all the options available for your family's time on the water at Kofer's, or visit our website at kofers.com.
Tommy Kraft for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, controlled access, and card readers. Call The Fence Man for a quick, no obligations quote. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598.
Introducing Hardee's Charbroiled Double Deals for $2.49 each. Your choice of the double cheeseburger, the new bacon cheddar double, or backed by popular demand, the Hardee's Classic. They're double. The beef. Triple. The options. You probably noticed the echo. It happens when we double the beef and triple the options with our Charbroiled Double deals for $2.49 each. It's kind of epic. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Double the meat is compared to the small cheeseburger. Limited time only at participating restaurants. Price may vary. Tax not included.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
So if you meet here, right here, after school today, you only get one lick from each of us. But you run like cowards, well, it's open season all summer long, boys.
6 wins. That's what FanDuel Sportsbook has Arkansas listed at for their season win total. Not their over-under, but their season win total. Halftime on a Wednesday. Andrew Hutchinson, Hogbeat Rivals, joining me. Phil Ellison still on vacation. He'll be back with me on Friday. Matt Jones, former Arkansas quarterback, will join me in studio tomorrow. Hutch, when you see 6 wins for Arkansas, you and I were both talking during the break. If I saw 5.5, I would be okay with that because there's at least a chance that you could win money if you go 6. But the only way if you were to place money on this, the only scenario you'd win money and not push if they won 7 games. And that scenario, that possibility seems a lot more far-fetched than the potential to win 6.
Yeah, you have to win 3 SEC games. And we were going down the schedule. What games are those going to be? I mean, it's hard to just find one to maybe get you to 5 wins and then find a second win. You know, maybe say, hey, you steal one or you win the games that you can win. But there's not really on the schedule that jump out and say, okay, Arkansas is going to win this game. I mean, you maybe say that about the 4 non-conference games, but that only gets you to 4 wins. How in the world are you going to find 3 wins to get to 7 if you're going to hit the over? I agree with you. 5.5 seems about right because I could see Arkansas finishing with 5 wins. I could, if they have a really good year, I could see them getting to 6.
Really? Like incredible.
Yeah, right. Just based on everything I've seen, watching them through spring practice, knowing what they have coming back, seeing what was on the field last year, 5 wins is probably doable. That would, you would end your SEC losing streak. You'd get an SEC win. But winning 2 SEC games, I think that's a little bit of a stretch right now. I think they could build toward that eventually where they're getting into a bowl game every year. But it's still a little ways off, in my opinion.
All right, here's the other win totals in the SEC. Ole Miss at 5, Vandy at 5, South Carolina and Kentucky at 6, Missouri and Tennessee at 6.5, Texas A&M at 7.5, Auburn at 8, Mississippi State at 8.5, LSU and Florida at 9, Alabama and Georgia both stacked up there at 11. I want to dive into those real quick. Auburn 8. I think with their schedule, playing Oregon, Justin Herbert, a Heisman contender, first game of the season in Jerry World, AT&T Stadium. They have to play Georgia and Alabama. Now, I think they both get them at home. They got a tough schedule this year, and Auburn fans are not going to be happy with another 8 or 9 win season under Gus Malzahn. Andy Hodges, our HitThatLine.com editor, brought up this idea yesterday that Gus Malzahn, and I don't know how close to the realm of possibility this is actually going to happen, but at least there's a glimmer, a slim chance that it could, that Gus Malzahn might not even be there by the time that Auburn heads up to Fayetteville, Arkansas. And when he initially said that, I looked at him for a second. I thought I was going to rebuke him. I was going to say, no, Andy, that's... And then I thought about the Auburn fan base and how they react to situation and games and how they're not most of the time thinking straight concerning their football team. I don't think that's a possibility that you can necessarily rule out, man. And an Auburnless, or excuse me, a Gus Malzahn Auburnless, how do you say that? An Auburnless Gus Malzahn? I guess that's how you say it. That's a lot. You're a lot more likely to beat that football team than you are if Gus walks in to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Yeah, and another thing you got to factor in that makes that a little bit more of a possibility is I think I saw on Twitter the other day some breaking news. I think it's maybe on Friday News Dump, where Auburn's president is no longer there. And based on some things I've read from guys like Brandon Marcello, who's been around the Auburn beat forever, originally from Arkansas, that was apparently one of Gus's biggest allies. And if he's gone, then maybe there's a bigger chance for a move to be made. Even though he does have a massive contract, probably with a massive buyout, but it would not be. I mean, we're talking about the state of Alabama. I mean, nothing would surprise me when it comes to college football in the state of Alabama.
So Vandy and Ole Miss below Arkansas at 5-win season win total. That would just maybe me assuming that FanDuel Sportsbook thinks Arkansas is going to beat Ole Miss in Oxford week 2. And kind of the question I wanted to ask you to tie into all this, when I texted you last night and we were talking about the topics we were going to debate and go back and forth with on the program, the question came up, can Arkansas afford to win a non-conference game? And we both said no. I think that's you can't afford to win a single non-conference game. Conference, yes, that's fine. You're going to lose games this year. That being said, Hutch, can they afford to lose that Ole Miss game in week 2?
And still get to 6 wins?
And still get to, we'll say, how about 5? We'll start at 5, and then you can talk about 6 after that.
I think if they lost Ole Miss, they could still get to 5, because that's still only one conference game, assuming you win the 4 non-conference. And I mean, you've got at Kentucky. Kentucky's losing a lot of pieces from last year's team that was one of their best ever
since the 70s.
Exactly,
like 76 is what Andy said yesterday.
So you could maybe win that, but that's another road game. Texas A&M. Who knows? Everyone's kind of on the Texas A&M hype train because of Jimbo, and they did look pretty good down the stretch and everything. And so but that's a game Arkansas has been very, very, very close to winning. The last however many years it's been at Jerry World. Going back to the first segment, the games they blew going into the fourth quarter, I think Texas A&M is at least 1 or 2 of those, and even some of the other ones are games that they maybe didn't lead going into the fourth quarter, but they led at halftime or had chances to put them away, and they didn't do it. Auburn, you mentioned that could be if they don't have Gus, but I think that's still a very slim possibility. Alabama, you're probably not going to beat them, especially on the road. Mississippi State is intriguing to me because they lost a lot from last year's defense. A lot of guys went first-round draft picks. That's a game Arkansas could maybe win, especially with it being homecoming. So maybe that game, I don't know. I mean, that could be a win, and then obviously Missouri at the end of the year is a winnable game as well because it's in Little Rock. Maybe you can kind of get some of that War Memorial magic that you had in the old days. But it's still possible to get to 5 wins if they don't beat Ole Miss. But getting to 6 would probably be a little bit of a stretch.
You previewed Florida State. You previewed Portland State. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yesterday.
Okay. Can you see any scenario, any shape, form, or fashion that Arkansas somehow, some way blows to this game to an FCS program that didn't even finish above 500 last year?
No. I don't think there's any way they lose that game. I cannot envision any scenario because it's not a good FCS program. I think they won 4 games last year, and 2 years ago they went winless. And so it's a program that, they have some decent players. They've got a tight end that's an FCS All-American. You probably got to watch out for him. They've got a couple of guys that are returning at quarterback, a transfer from Rutgers that would be a redshirt freshman. Maybe he plays. Defensively, they lost, their top 2 tacklers or top 2 linebackers. So I just don't see this being a game Arkansas loses. It could be a game they struggle with, kind of like what we saw the last 2 years. Eastern Illinois, they took, I think, the third quarter or second quarter. They finally started kind of getting things going offensively. Even Florida A&M a couple of years ago, they kind of struggled with early on before putting them away, I think, 49-7. So they could struggle with Portland State. That would be a bad sign of things to come, but I don't see any way they lose that game.
It's June 26th. This game's not for about another 2 months, and we're already trying to preview it. That's sports radio for you right now. And it's just Hutch and I, both are just craving college football. And you always hear the old adage from radio hosts, writers, TV people, that SEC Media Days really kicks off the college football season. Not the actual season, not the actual games, but that's just kind of when people get back in the swing of things and whatnot. And I think when a lot of fans, they're starting to get excited because they see FanDuel Sportsbook release the season lines. They see Heisman odds coming out. And it's just, you're getting all this excited. I'm just wondering, and we'll close on this, Hutch. I'm wondering how much fans inside the state of Arkansas are actually excited for this upcoming year, or if they think it's going to be one that they don't want to remember.
I think fans are always excited for the football season. There's always a sense of optimism. I mean, there's people on our message board saying Arkansas is going to go 8-4. I think they're crazy, but you can tell they're excited for the football season just because it is football. Football is king in Arkansas. You know, everyone talks about, basketball's great, baseball's great. Obviously, I love those sports, but football is king in the South, and Arkansas is part of that. And I think there is excitement. There is genuine excitement. But I think most people probably are realistic and are really kind of hoping, most optimistic people, for a 6-6 season and get to a bowl game.
I'll tell you what else people are excited for. The 15th annual Thick Burger Eating Contest. First qualifier starts July 9th. Really excited about that. Who can eat the most thick burgers in 5 minutes? That's going to be the championship. It's a winner-take-all. The winner gets a chance to go see the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Chargers. Monday Night Football, 2 tickets to the game, premium hotel accommodations, spending money, and these are going to be memories that will last a lifetime. You and a buddy. It's going to be great. Come out to a Thick Burger Challenge. Again, the first one starts July 9th. It's going to be all through the month of July and a little bit at the beginning of August. All you got to do, eat a thick burger in 90 seconds or less, and you're automatically qualified for the finals Saturday, August 17th. And if you're not a big food mongol like I am, then get a friend to, because, again, these tickets are for you and a friend. So convince somebody to do it. Hopefully he wins, and then you'll get to go on with him. That's what you got to do. The 15th annual Hardee's Thick Burger Eating Contest. I'm telling you, you want to take advantage. All right, the baseball team is getting a new slick facility with a hefty price tag. We'll tell you about it next. This is Halftime, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio.
Right now at Randall Ford, sales tax paid. You heard right. Sales tax paid on all new and used vehicles in stock. Sales tax paid. Plus, we want your trade. Randall Ford is paying top dollar for your trade with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Why buy anywhere else? Stop in today. Sales tax paid and top dollar for your trade. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Fourth oldest Ford dealer in America with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
It's your piece of land, your point of pride, your place of peace and quiet. Your yard means something to you. So mow like you mean business with a professional-grade Gravely zero-turn mower. Gravely means comfort. Gravely means strength. Gravely means cutting precision. Gravely mowers mean business. Gravely, build to mow the distance.
Visit Bush Machine and Tractor, 7301 0 Street in Fort Smith, or at bushtractor.com.
You spend a lot of time worrying about your family, so you shouldn't have to worry about your tires. Protect what matters to you with Michelin tires and experience a clever combination of confidence and performance. This summer, drive away with extra savings too. Between June 12th and July 11th, get a $70 reward card after submission with purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger and light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. See MichelinMan.com/promo for complete offer details. Offer expires 7/11/2019. Void where prohibited.
The Catfish Kitchen at the top of Logtown Hill in Van Buren has lunch specials every weekday from 11 till 2, starting at only $6.99. Try the 3-piece catfish filet dinner with hand-cut fries and all the fixins. It's only $9.99, and the Catfish Kitchen is more than catfish. Try their shrimp dinners, cooked any way you like it, chicken tenders, crab cakes, or one of their po' boy sandwiches. The Catfish Kitchen, open Tuesday through Sunday 11 till 8 at 727 Fayetteville Road at the top of Logtown Hill, across from the police station in Van Buren.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. So we brew our beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. Those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. And that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a crisp, clean taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who live fit, live fun, live ultra. Enjoy responsibly. 2018 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams of protein, and 0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
It's Truck Month 2.0 at Harry Robinson, and all the 2018s have got to go. There are only 6 2018 Sierra trucks remaining. They have to sell this month. Discounts over $15,000 off retail while they last. And the all-new 2019 GMC Sierra with a redesigned body style and the all-new tailgate. Take $12,000 off retail or choose 0% for 72 months. It's Truck Month 2.0. All the 18s have got to go at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
I am so tired of dealing with incompetence. It says 100% guaranteed, you moron.
Mister, if you don't shut up, I'm going to kick 100% of your ass.
Last segment, hour number 1 here on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. I referenced it before the break. The Arkansas baseball team getting a new facility financed that was approved. $27 million project that was originally thought to be about $20 to $25 million. Hutch, tell us about this new baseball facility that's going to be pretty stinking cool.
Well, I can tell you Dave Van Horn is very excited about it because they're going. It's going to be stuff that's much needed, a new locker room, new, I think, weightlifting facility, new pitching development center, things that these, players that are, really, really good athletes are really need to continue developing and being relevant on the national stage. These are things that you see at other SEC programs just because SEC baseball is literally the top of the top in college baseball. But it's something that I know Arkansas is very excited about. And it's going to be completed, get this, so it's going to be completed for the spring of 2021, which is going to be the freshman season of the class of 2020, which is currently ranked number 2 nationally in the country by perfect game. A lot of big-time talents in this class. They're going to be fighting them for the Major League Baseball draft, but if they can get them to campus, it's going to be very, very good for Arkansas.
45,000 square feet of baseball brilliance. That's what's coming to the U of A. All right, more up on Halftime. 3 up, 3 down. Bill Keenan, hour number 2. Lots to get to. Then, this is Halftime. ESPN Arkansas. Hitthatline.com.
Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598.
When you think about the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you think about winning. And with more than 500,000 life-changing scholarships awarded so far, you can think about winners like Cole, who won the chance to study psychology at the University of Arkansas, or Miriam, who won an education from Arkansas Tech, or Rafa, who won a scholarship to UA Fort Smith, the first in her family to go to college. Apply for your scholarship now at scholarships.adhe.edu. This is winning.
Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, has been helping our customers create a lifetime of family memories for over 45 years. Kofer's carries the brands you trust like low aluminum fishing boats, low pontoons, and Bayliner powered by Mercury. Fish the finest in Triton tournament bass boats to fit every budget. Or come check out the best-selling towboats in the industry from Malibu and Axis, ready to create the best wakes and surf waves you've ever experienced. Stop by and see all the options available for your family's time on the water at Kofer's, or visit our website at kofers.com.
It's back, it's way back. Hello, this is Jack Dean with Road Chevy in Van Buren. Come in and hit a home run with these savings. Take home a new 2019 Silverado for as low as $29,988, or a new 2019 Chevy Trax with payments starting as low as $299 a month, or save up to $12,000 on a new 2018 Z701 Crew Cab while supplies last. Take the short drive and we'll go the extra mile for you. Road Chevrolet, exit 2A of 5540 in Van Buren. Find new road.
With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson. My mom and dad founded Razorback Camper Sales 50 years ago. It all started back in 1969 on the corner of St. Louis and Airport Road in Hot Springs. Spending time with family and helping our customers make lasting memories is what we've been doing for the last half century. Isn't that right, Mac?
That's right, Papa!
From all of us at Razorback Camper Sales, thank you for the last 50 years.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Only an outside chance of a shower or rubble of thunder tonight. Otherwise, partly cloudy. An overnight low will drop down into the upper 60s. Sunny skies, isolated showers or storms with us at any point on Wednesday. High temperatures upper 80s. And a few more isolated showers or storms with us on Thursday. Our high temperatures close to 90 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on at OGE.com.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 66 days.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson.
You do a fantastic job on the radio. There's no one else in this league I'd rather listen to, so keep up the good work.
And Tye Richardson.
Been doing some homework, man. I appreciate the work you're putting in. Your show is really, really good, guys.
What were you doing there?
Communicating. Keeping up with foreign relations. Giving him the bird. The finger.
Yes, I know the finger, Goose.
Hey, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Hour number 2 on Halftime, rolling along. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Phil Elson on a Wednesday after we reach the 1 o'clock point likes to say halfway of halftime or something of that nature, so I'm going to do my best to imitate him on that portion. Bill Keene coming up at the bottom of the hour, going to talk some college football and a little Kumar Rocker and Vandy, Michigan facing off tonight in the third game of the College World Series. I think it's going to be a game that I actually might tune into. I'd be lying if I told you I had listened or watched any of the College World Series finals games up to this point, but I think I might have to watch it since it is a closeout game tonight. Hutch, this is going to be your first Change My Mind segment, and I told you about it a little bit. I'm curious to how it goes. Are you ready?
I think so.
Let's do it.
I changed my mind.
Hi, Joey.
Hey, how you doing?
He won't sell anybody out to buy his future!
How can you be so obtuse? What did you call me? Obtuse? Is it deliberate?
Son, you're forgetting yourself.
Change My Mind.
The Al Pacino movie, Scent of a Woman, popped up on my YouTube Explore page the other day, and I realized I haven't seen that movie in quite some time. I need to watch that. And I think it's JT O'Connell or Michael O'Connell's birthday, who was Robin and Batman and Hawaii Five-0, but I haven't seen that in quite some time. So, I need to do that. All right, so I'll let you start. This is, again, for those who are just listening for the first time. There's not many of you. Most of you listening to the program have been listening either since its inception or at least a couple weeks prior and whatnot, so you know this concept. But just to reiterate to everyone, this is a portion of the show, a segment where either Hutch or I are going to elicit a statement, talk about something, give an opinion on something. The other has to try and change their mind. Some can be lighthearted, some can be funny, some can be more serious. And I'll let you start, Hutch, since you are the guest. What's the first thing you're going to try and change my mind? Or I'm going to have to try and change your mind about?
Well, you mentioned early on in the show that I'm a big stats nerd, and one of the stats that I do not like for baseball, I love all baseball, but the win-loss stat for pitchers is a total, terrible stat to use and judge a pitcher on because so much is out of the pitcher's control. You can throw a no-hitter and get a loss. You can allow 10 runs and still get a win, depending on what your offense does for you. So I think, I get into arguments with people on social media, on our message board about this, from time to time. The win-loss record is total garbage for pitchers.
So there's a guy, and I'm blanking on your name, man. I know you're a dedicated listener to the program, but he and I got into a little bit, not aggressive, but it was a little bit of an argument via social media talking about when Isaiah Campbell was not awarded the first or second team for all SEC, and he pointed to his win-loss record. And I said, well, if you look at almost, if not every other statistic, he's trailing in those categories. And I get the ultimate goal of playing a sport should be to win, period. That should be the goal. And I know certain coaches, certain members of the media, certain administrators will say, no, the goal is to shape young men and women. That's not the goal. The goal is to win. So that being said, I don't necessarily want the win-loss record to get lost in translation, but if you even look at who won the Cy Young for the Mets, and of course I'm blanking on his name now. It's not Matt Harvey.
No,
it's
Syndergaard?
not Thor. It's not Syndergaard.
Okay.
And as soon as I reference
I can't remember
him,
either.
I can't think of who it is. But he had a losing win-loss record. But his other stats were incredible. His whip, his ERA, and everything else. But his team, every time he pitched, they couldn't give him any run support. And initially, when Phil brought up this a couple months ago, and again, I can't speak to your baseball knowledge, and I sure as heck can't speak to Phil's baseball knowledge. I was taken aback initially, and then I listened to him listen this example, list this example, list this fact, and I was like, you know what, man, you're right. And again, you don't want to necessarily lose win-losses because that's still an important stat, but it's not as important as it used to be because people point to other things. Because if you really want to get nitty-gritty, I'll give you an example. Isaiah Campbell was credited with the loss against Vanderbilt, the only loss he suffered this season. Now, I know they weren't able to beat Florida State, and he didn't have the best outing against Kentucky, but he shouldn't have been credited with that loss against Vanderbilt. It was a 3-2 ball game. His dudes didn't help him out. So there's certain examples, certain criteria where you could point to exactly what you're talking about. And I'm not changing your mind because I tried to change Phil's mind about this topic, and I couldn't. And I'm not going to with you as well, but you're 100% right. I agree. And I think the casual baseball fan or just the casual Arkansas fan in general would point to that Isaiah Campbell record. But as you mentioned, there's just certain statistics that I think are more important when it comes to concerning that.
100%.
All right, my first changed my mind. And you're going to agree with me on this because I know you're in my corner on this. So you don't have to necessarily lie and say, well, no. Hunter Yurachek was very bold in some of the things he's done. Whether it's playing the in-state schools, whether it's helping get Nolan's name on the court, which will happen this year, there's something else they need to add to the court. And I'm not talking about the three-point line that's going to be taken back a little bit according to the NCAA. Hutch, they need to bring the slobber hawk back. And I know there was a thread, I can't remember where I read it, that he was kind of tongue-in-cheek about possibly, I think it was an El Dorado Razorback club that he mentioned about, hey, we might have another surprise for you with the addition of Nolan's name on the court. They need to bring the slobber hog back to the court. Change my mind. But I know you're going to be for this, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely for it. I mean, I grew up in Northwest Arkansas. I went to games, at the tail end of the Nolan Richardson era, and I remember fondly the slobbering hog, and I thought it was awesome. They had the little light graphic that they played on the court during the introductions where the slobbering hog was running. And it was just really, it was cool. I mean, that's one thing that I will never forget is a slobbering hog, and I think that it would be awesome to bring it back. And I totally agree with you. I cannot change your mind on that.
And it was Jake DeGrom. That's the picture I was thinking of. I was really frustrated because I was like, I know this dude's name, but I couldn't. I think that would be a token of appreciation not only to just put Nolan's name on the court, but so let's say they have an entire mat or something covering up the court when they're revealing it. And I don't know how they would do that, considering the players would have to practice, unless they did some Midnight Madness thing where they did it and then they pulled the whole thing off. It would be one thing, and there would just be a monstrous reaction from fans if, as soon as they're pulling off the corners of the court, they see Nolan's signature on the court, Nolan Richardson court. I can't imagine the level of excitement if they were to continue to pull off the tarp or whatever material they would use and then see spit and slobber on the court, and then they slowly peel it back, and the slobber hog is smack dab in the middle of that sucker. And that's one of the few things, Hutch. So you're 25, I'm 24. That's one of the few characteristics of Arkansas, the Razorbacks, when I'm speaking to, that I don't think any fan, regardless of age, disagrees upon. I think every single fan that you talk to, maybe not every single, but 95+% want the Slobberhawk back on the court, regardless of age, regardless of young or old.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it was cool, as I said. I mean, there's nothing else that you could say about it other than that it is cool. It would be unique. I mean, the Razorback already is unique for Arkansas, but the Slobber and Hog, I mean, that's just, it's fantastic, and it's an ode to an era that brought Arkansas a national championship. So why not?
Why not? What's your second one?
Yeah, so I figured since I'm down here in the Fort Smith area, the River Valley, I'd give a little nod to Connor Nolan. Obviously, he made the big decision to quit playing football. So my change my mind is that he will be a day one draft pick in the MLB in a couple of years when he turns pro. I think he will be a top, 75, 80 pick guy in the top 2 rounds, kind of like Isaiah Campbell was. So give me Connor Nolan, day one draft pick, especially once he gets a couple of falls under his belt, practicing with football. I think he's going to be the real deal on the baseball diamond.
His final 2 years of high school had a .45 ERA. Won the state championship for Greenwood. Was a second-team All-American freshman for, it was either Perfect Game or Baseball America. Might have been D1, but I know he was one of those publications. He was a second-teamer. The guy has stuff. The guys are really good. There's expectations that his 88, 89, 90 fastball has the potential to get up to 94, 95. Now, he's got to put the work in. He's got to continue to improve. And now he's got a lot more time to do that with giving up football. He's going to be solely focused on baseball. The one thing I'll say, and this is, again, a change your mind segment. I'm going to actually try and change your mind on this because I'm a little concerned with all the expectation that was placed upon him heading into Fayetteville. You look at McTelvin Agim, you look at some other 5-stars guys outside of Darren McFadden football-wise, they never amounted to the level of success, the level of expectation that a lot of fans thought they would get to. And Agim, he's got a senior year to really make that next big step. He's made some steps in his progression to U of A, but he hasn't lived up to his potential as a 5-star blue-chip guy. Now, no one's a 4-star, but he is, and he's linked to Tyler Wilson a lot of times because of the Greenwood background and because of the two-sport, playing football and baseball and being a stud at both in high school. Now that he's chosen baseball, the only thing I would be worried about is not only just Greenwood fans, but Arkansas fans in general placing too much of a burden on him from that standpoint. And I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope that kid succeeds with flying colors. I hope he absolutely tears it up in his eventual 1 or 2 guy at Arkansas and gets that type of money that he would be deserving of if he was going to make it in the first 2 rounds. I just can't 100% tell you, not only because I've this much baseball knowledge, but I think that expectation might hinder him just a little bit. So, all right, my second changed my mind. I don't know if you saw this. Are you an onion burger guy, Hutch? You like onion burgers? Not a fan?
Can't say I have ever had one. I don't.
So there's two types really that most people associate onion burgers with. It's White Castle and Crystal. Have you ever had either of those franchises?
I have not.
So Crystal, which is more of a East Coast type of place, they are offering a deal for $5.99, all you can eat Crystal burgers and fries. And these are small little burgers, and they will absolutely tear you up. As someone that's eaten a bunch of them before, they will destroy you. From a marketing standpoint, this is a good idea. And I completely get why they're doing it. I think they're going to get a lot of publicity, got a lot of attention out of this. But I don't know if I would be the guy saying on this airway that it would be wise for you to go partake in this challenge. Go see if you can eat 10 plus. So change my mind. It's probably not a good idea for you to go in there and see how many Crystal Burgers you could take advantage of.
It's probably not a good idea for any fast food place, I would imagine.
That's a good point.
As someone who has eaten a lot of fast food over the years, that probably would not be a good idea. Now, I mean, if you want something to brag about, if you're in college and you've got a bunch of buddies and you want to make a bet, go for it. But it's not something I would be partaking in for myself personally.
Yeah, might be a little bit of a bowel movement after some of your intestines might not be working and initially as good as they were before you went into that restaurant. So, all right, what's your third, bud?
So this one isn't maybe as much of a stretch, and I figured football season right around the corner, I'm going to give some love to the football team. I believe Trey Knox is legit. I think he's going to be a freshman All-SEC, and he will be an All-SEC wide receiver by the time he leaves. I really liked what I saw from him in the spring. He showed a lot of talent. Obviously, it's going to hinge on the offensive line giving the quarterback enough time and the quarterback getting the ball to him. But I truly believe that Trey Knox is a legit top wide receiver in the SEC and is capable of being a freshman All-SEC this year and eventually, before he leaves, an All-SEC caliber wide receiver.
Again, I'm going to play devil's advocate, so what comes out of my mouth not necessarily be the most 100% what I'm trying to back. But if you watch outside of the highlight, that one where he had a cutback, he ran that slant route, caught it, was masterful catch, and then cut it upfield and just gone. It reminded me of Hunter Renfro's touchdown, 2017 Alabama National Championship. As a 6'5" dude, he doesn't get as low to the ground as some other smaller wide receivers would, and so I think initially the physicality of playing the SEC, some of these stud cornerbacks that he's going to be facing across the board might hinder his route running and timing a little bit. And he'll be able to develop. He'll be able to get stronger. He'll be able to muster his route running skills and getting off coverage and blocks and all that stuff. But I don't know if I can 100% jump on board with that yet because as a freshman, there's just so many unknowns out there. And again, this is a kid that out of Blackman, out of Murfreesboro, that I absolutely want him to just tear it up. He was fun to watch. Arkansas really hasn't had a stud wide receiver like that since the Bobby P days. Drew Morgan, a lot of respect for him. Jared Cornelius, when he had that one good season. But you think back, I mean, Dominique Reed never amounted to what people thought they would. So you hope that him or Traylon Burks, who Andy's really fond of, being a Warren kid, Shamar Nass, and some of these other guys really come about and come through and fall through on their expectations based on where they were ranked in recruiting services. So that's what I'll say about that. But I completely understand the fascination with him because the kid has, at least he's one of those guys, Hutch, that when he walks off the bus, you're like, yeah, that dude's a football player.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm basing off of because you look at him compared to all the other wide receivers. I mean, compared to, I don't want to take any shots, but like, Deion Stewart, you look at Trey Knox compared to him and you're like, man, that's a dude. That's a dude that can play for you and put up, solid numbers in the SEC.
So we've talked about pressure with a couple of guys. Connor Nolan, Trey Knox entering his freshman season. It really seems like a guy that people are gravitating towards to having a big freshman year as a wide receiver. A guy by the name of R.J. Barrett, Duke shooting guard, was just drafted by the New York Knicks, number 3 overall. And this is one of the toughest franchises to play for in all of sports. The Garden, the best place to play basketball, the mecca of basketball in the United States. I've gotten to see a game there. It's absolutely incredible, and I'm more of a college basketball than pro basketball fan, but that atmosphere is unbelievable. And I know him and his dad have come out, this guy's going to give everything he has for this franchise, and he's going to work hard, and I like what I saw at Duke. I don't know if he's going to be better than Zion Williamson in the NBA. It's one thing to face pressure in high school. It's another thing to face pressure in the SEC or in college, wherever you end up. Andrew, this is the most pressure-filled situation for a basketball player in all of sports. This is a franchise that hasn't been relevant in quite some time, haven't been doing NBA championship since 99, hasn't won a championship since the 70s. This is such a difficult situation. And you think about the expectation from Dolan, who's the owner, and just the different people that they have over the years. I don't even know who New York's coach is right now. I couldn't even tell you that. But as much as RJ Barrett's dad thinks he's ready, as much as he wants them to succeed, and much as RJ wants to help that franchise get back to, I just don't know that if he's ready for the pressure that's associated with playing in New York. Changed my mind.
You know, I don't really watch much of NBA basketball. I'm not a big NBA fan. I'm more of a college guy as well. So I like what I see from RJ Barrett as a player. I think he's a solid player, but he's not a Zion Williamson. And I think that's going to be something that really kind of hinders him throughout his career, is everyone's going to be comparing him to Zion. And I think Zion is probably better suited to handle the New York media. You know, you see it across all sports too. I mean, not just basketball. I mean, you're talking about the New York Yankees. You're talking about the New York Giants and the Jets and pro football. So I have a hard time disagreeing with you. I think that he's going to have a hard time. And just seeing him in some interviews, I think I saw him in an interview leading up to the NBA draft lottery, and he just he's not super comfortable with the media. And that's not something to hate on a dude, because you can be a really good player and not be comfortable with the media. That's just his personality. But in New York, that's going to be tough for him to handle.
Yeah, Michael Kay, Francesa, I mean, those are some radio hosts that are known not only in New York but throughout the United States. That's how, and the New York media as a whole is. If I always find it funny when players or coaches in Arkansas feel like the media is taking it hard on them, and I'm like, why don't you go to New York for a week and try and coach there? Because it's vastly different. For over 80 years, Rhodes Chevrolet has been a name you can trust. Rhodes has always been dependable in the car buying and car owning experience. For the first time you walk in their showroom, you're treated like family. It's part of a family-owned dealership and service department that's been serving the River Valley for over 8 decades. You can find your next dependable vehicle today at 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren or at RhodeChevy.com. Dependable since 1934. Does Clemson own the SEC? Has Clemson dominated the Southeastern Conference lately? ESPN.com's Chris Lowe thinks so. What do Andrew and I think? We'll get to that next. This is Halftime. ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
When in doubt, expense it. You're listening to Halftime.
Slide girl by my side, girl, yeah, we can run. Proclaim Construction has been in the industry for a combined 50 years, and they can meet any needs you may have for your home or business. Proclaim is your insurance restoration specialist, and they're offering a no-cost, limited-time free roof inspection, and they'll make your insurance claim if necessary. Whether it's basic repair, remodel, or complete makeover, Proclaim Construction guarantees your satisfaction with the best warranty in the business. Proclaim has references for your peace of mind, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured for your protection. Call 479-407-9598.
Massey Ferguson Tractors have arrived at Bush Machine & Tractor. Bush Machine & Tractor is proud to be the newest Massey Ferguson dealer in Western Arkansas, providing you with a full lineup of versatile Massey Ferguson tractors. They're built with straightforward power, smart fuel economy, and upgraded control and comfort. Stop by and find a new Massey Ferguson perfectly sized to fit your property or farm at Bush Machine & Tractor, 7301 South 0 Street in Fort Smith, or visit us online at bushtractor.com.
It's back, it's way back. Hello, this is Jack Dean with Road Chevy in Van Buren. Come in and hit a home run with these savings. Take home a new 2019 Silverado for as low as $29,988, or a new 2019 Chevy Trax with payments starting as low as $299 a month, or save up to $12,000 on a new 2018 Z701 Crew Cab while supplies last. Take the short drive and we'll go the extra mile for you. Road Chevrolet, exit 2A of 5540 in Van Buren. Find new road.
With approved credit, see dealer for details.
Hi, I'm Doug Johnson. My mom and dad founded Razorback Camper Sales 50 years ago. It all started back in 1969 on the corner of St. Louis and Airport Road in Hot Springs. Spending time with family and helping our customers make lasting memories is what we've been doing for the last half century. Isn't that right, Mac?
That's right, Papa!
From all of us at Razorback Camper Sales, thank you for the last 50 years.
Enjoy happy hour 6 days a week at Joe's Grill and Cantina. Monday through Friday from 3 till 6 and all day on Saturday. Enjoy happy hour specials, including $1 off all drinks, and Paquito nachos are only $4. Your choice of beef, bean, chicken, or cheese. Happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and all day on Saturday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 6 days a week. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
At Frankfurt Furniture, we believe in supporting our country, and we want to invite you to shop our Made in the USA brands like Jackson, Catnapper, Best Home Furnishings, Medlift, and Union Furniture made right here in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Check out our Justice mattresses and our Kingdom mattresses, also made in Fort Smith, Arkansas. 100% made in the USA Speed Clean washers and dryers. We have them. Tell us you heard this commercial and receive free delivery. Frank Rowe Furniture, best seats in the house. Your Made in the USA headquarters.
This is the Morning Rush.
Football only calls your phone 12 times in college football. It's the call you're always going to answer. Baseball is that group text from hell you can't get out of. There's 162 of them plus the playoff. I think for the 50-plus crowd, they're saying, what are y'all talking about? We watch the highlights on YouTube. That's what the new generation would tell you.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Questions?
Yeah, I got a question. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
I'll give you the answer to that question, Mr. Bender, next Saturday. Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Does the Clemson football team own the SEC? That's a statement Chris Lowe made, ESPN.com, talking about it. He seems to think so. And he referenced a couple good points, which Hutch and I are going to get into here on Halftime. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. You think about the Alabama domination that they beat the just tar out of them in the national championship, 44-16. They beat them 2 years ago in the national championship in an incredible game, Deshaun Watson. And then 3 years ago, they should have won that game, but they gave up a kick return touchdown and an onside kick. So just the Alabama series itself has been tied. Hutch, just seeing that statement, seeing that for the first time, and just a little background on everything. Overall record since 2012 for Dabo, 13-5 against the SEC. Is that a fair statement to say that Clemson owns? That's the key. Not plays well, not is really competitive, owns the SEC. Is that a fair statement?
I think that's a little bit of a stretch, because if they own the SEC, they would have won the last 4 national championships or whatever it is, because that would insinuate that you never lose to the SEC. So I think that's a little bit of a stretch. And you also got to factor in, Clemson plays South Carolina every year, so I'm sure a lot of those wins came against the Gamecocks, and no one's sitting here trying to tell you that South Carolina is like, elite SEC type of football.
So, 3 wins last year, A&M, South Carolina, and Alabama. They beat A&M on the road last year. They'll get them in Death Valley this year. I think when you say, if you were to replace the word owns with something else, it might have worked out. I will give Chris Lowe credit. He is an SEC. He covers the SEC. And a lot of times, these people that cover certain conferences nationally just give them so much love. They're just lavish articles over and over talking about how great the conference is. And the SEC, for the most part, particularly Paul Feinbaum, doesn't ever criticize the conference when it comes to scheduling or anything for that matter. So I will give him credit on that. And if you look at what Clemson's done, they beat Auburn on the home and on the road. They beat A&M on the road last year. They'll probably beat them again this year. They also got wins against LSU and Georgia. Dabo's beaten South Carolina 5 times since 2012. But the point that Paul Feinbaum brought up yesterday on his program was the fact that this team doesn't have to play an SEC schedule week in, week out. we always make fun of the Pac-12 for being as poor as it has been in recent years. The ACC is not that much better. Clemson is holding it by a thread. The ACC conference as a whole, Hutch, is just not good at college football.
Yeah, last year particularly. I mean, a couple of years ago they were actually pretty good, but last
Florida
year,
State, and
yeah,
kind of when they were up.
Last year with the disaster with Bobby Petrino at Louisville, they were a terrible team. You think if you have Syracuse as probably your second best team that's winning 10 games, that's probably not a good sign for you. I mean, Florida State last year was probably the worst Florida State team in 4 or 5 decades. So they were a bad conference last year, but that was also a historically good Clemson team. I mean, I feel like they probably would have gone undefeated against probably any schedule you could have put in front of them. I mean, unless you had them play Alabama 15 times, because then it probably would have been about even. But that was a historically good Clemson team. So I really don't think you can say they own the SEC. I mean, you think about that Texas A&M game. If I remember correctly, that came down to the last minute or two, with the 2-point conversion or something.
Yep. I think it was it 28-26?
Something
maybe?
like that, yes. I mean, it was a close game. It's not like they went to Texas A&M and won by 4 touchdowns. So I don't think they own the SEC, but they are definitely an SEC caliber program, which I think is probably the top compliment you could give to a team in college football these days.
And if you think about it, I mean, Clemson they got to the college football playoff last year. They won the national championship this past year. 2 years ago, they won it all. And then 3 years ago, they lost to Alabama. I mean, this is a program that you can't do much else to say you're in the same level as Alabama because you've been consistent with them year after year. And I think SEC fans listening to the program right now are kind of irritated by that because of the fact that Clemson is doing this in another conference. I think there would be a lot more respect divvied out if Clemson was doing this like a Georgia. Let's say Clemson was in Georgia's position and they beat Alabama to get to that point or something. Then I think the consensus and just the overall take from the SEC's part of this great country would be Clemson deserves this. I think there's people they're not necessarily unwilling, but they're still skeptical a little bit if Clemson would be able to have this amount of success if they played in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, they may struggle to make the college football playoff 4 straight years or however many it is, but they would definitely be a team that was in the college football playoff conversation every year in the SEC, I believe, because I just think Dabo's done such a tremendous job there, and it does help, playing the ACC. You get, I think they usually aren't really challenged much in the ACC championship game, whereas Alabama had to go through Georgia this year, which is probably a college football playoff caliber team in its own right.
Incredible game.
So yeah, it's one of those things where I think Clemson is definitely a very, very good top-tier program and would be still in the SEC, but would they be doing what Alabama is doing? Probably not. You'd have those two teams kind of duking it out for year in, year out, whichever one's going to make it to the playoff.
And I'm curious because Clemson lost a lot on the defensive side of the football. I hope they can handle that and maintain that level of success because I really liked watching Trevor Lawrence. I mean, that dude is a true freshman, can just absolutely sling it. This next recruiting class is the number 1 recruiting class right now in the country that they're bringing in. They just got that DJ kid out of Cali a couple months prior who was just the number 1. I don't know if he's dual threat or if he's just the number 1 overall quarterback in this upcoming recruiting class. So it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. And the question that seems to be asked every time Alabama doesn't lose or doesn't win a national championship is the success starting to go on a downwards turn. Is this it for Nick Saban in terms of the level of domination that he has held up to in his tenure in Alabama? And so, real quick, give me about a minute on this, Hutch. Do you think there's any chance you could see last year just the utter defeat that they suffered, 44-16 in that national championship? All the coaches they lost. Could you see? It's almost want. Could you want this team to finally go the other way and not be at the level of success they have been?
Yeah, we've probably been asking this question for the last several years. It's like, when is Nick Saban going to go on a decline? What is it going to be? Was it when they lost to, I think it was Ohio State in the college football playoff a few years ago? Was that the start of it? Nope, because here they are still.
Cowherd and Klatt said it was. I remember that vividly, how they said that was the end of it.
And it's not. I think they're going to be like this until Nick Saban retires, and no one knows when that is. Is it 5 years, 6 years, 10 years? I mean, who knows? But but it's going to continue as long as Nick Saban's there, I think. No matter who the assistants are, no matter who the players are, he's going to still get his fair share of the top recruits in the country. So it's going to continue, I think.
Are you in the market to sell your home? Nick and Ellie Glidewell are great real estate agents that are willing to help you out. The real estate market is hot, and when it's time to sell your home, they can get you top dollar. They're very aggressive with the marketing of their real estate, professional photography, video, drone footage. They do a number of different things, including 3D virtual home tours. And they've been doing this for over 10 years, buying and selling homes. Hutch and I love our jobs, and they truly love what they do. They advertise social media, TV, here on radio, newspaper, and much more. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram or their website at nickandellie.com. All right, coming up, Bill Keene, Nashville Sports Radio, joins us. Going to talk Kumar Rocker, college football, and much more. That's next on Halftime. ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com.
You're listening to Halftime.
Right now at Randall Ford, sales tax paid. You heard right. Sales tax paid on all new and used vehicles in stock. Sales tax paid. Plus, we want your trade. Randall Ford is paying top dollar for your trade with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Why buy anywhere else? Stop in today. Sales tax paid and top dollar for your trade. Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers, or online at randallford.com. Fourth oldest Ford dealer in America with approved credit. See dealer for details.
The Paint Store in Van Buren, ready to help you with summer projects, putting 31 years of experience to work and helping you choose a new color or match one you really need. In addition to a computer, they use their eyes and minds to see color and make adjustments to choose just the right Richards Paint product for your project. They'll keep samples in your name and address for 10 years. No other paint seller does that. See the large selection of the current and popular paint colors from Richard Paints and experience customer service you won't get anywhere else. The Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road, Van Buren.
Supercuts of Rogers is hiring. Supercuts team members take pride in maintaining a positive, professional, and creative workplace. Supercuts team members provide the highest quality for guests by attending training courses at our Hairstylist Academy, as well as ongoing coaching and guidance by renowned Supercuts artistic directors. Supercuts has the highest base pay in the market, including pay time off, commission-based performance pay, great tips, company-sponsored health insurance, and much more. Simply apply online at supercuts.com or contact Joe at 520-203-4316.
Invest in your family this summer with a Doughboy above-ground pool from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here for Burton's. There's no better way to spend your summer than with a family in your own backyard. A Doughboy above-ground pool can make that fast, easy, and most importantly, affordable for this summer. Right now, save up to $800 off on select Doughboy above-ground pool packages. Everything you need to start enjoying this summer in your own backyard with a Doughboy above-ground pool. Doughboy above-ground pools are the highest quality above-ground pools on the market. And with these special discounts, payments start as low as $65 a month with your approved credit. And with the great staff at Burton Pools and Spas, you can count on a quality installation to make your backyard even more fun this summer. Check out Burton Pools and Spas online at burtonpools.com or find them on Instagram and Facebook. Burton Pools and Spas, 6121 0 Street in Fort Smith and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun. Are you looking for a new place to call home? Whether you're looking for an apartment, duplex, townhome, or a house, Trinity Multifamily has you covered. They even have options in surrounding states, from Texas to Michigan and Kansas to Tennessee. If you're looking for a new place to call home, make Trinity Multifamily your first call at 479-452-1817. That's 479-452-1817. Or online at trinitymultifamily.com to search rental properties near you.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Is this your place? No, I live with my mom. Oh. Yeah. You hungry? Hey, Ma! Can we get some meatloaf? Chaz, I think I'm okay. I had a bite right before I came over.
Kumar Rocker. That's the guy Bill told us about back in fall. That's the guy that kept Vanderbilt alive this postseason in a single elimination game against Duke, and they were able to win that super regional. And that's the guy that got it done for them against Michigan in the biggest stage the sport has to offer. Bill Keene, Nashville Sports Radio, kind enough to join us every Wednesday. Bill, this guy, he's really coming to his own, man.
Yeah, that's what we expected. I didn't know if the team would be in this slot with one game to go to win it all. You never know. You can have your best team ever and some reason not get there, but he is an absolute animal. And again, he's got 2 more years, and they don't think he scratched the surface of what he's got. So no telling.
He was throwing 96 last night. Certain times I saw it, and it might have. That was just one of the pitches I saw. It might have gotten up there even more, just some of the highlights, but it was incredible. Bill, with the momentum that Vanderbilt was able to accumulate from last night, they get it done tonight?
Well, you would think so. You got to remember now, Michigan's playing with house money. They didn't think they'd be anywhere close to here, and they've really come together, which says something about catching fire at the right time, all those cliches that we try not to use, and that's a good team, man. I mean, Michigan plays free. They play worry-free. So I think if there's pressure, it's on Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt's been to 3 natties in, 6 years? So the program in general knows where they're at, and they're throwing probably their second-best pitcher starter in Mason Hickman tonight. He's a big 6'6" kid, and he's not really a power guy per se. He's a 90, 91, 89 guy. Got a couple of pitches. And if they hit the ball well, and they hit it well up and down the lineup, typically, maybe not hitting it quite as well, but that probably has something to do with who you're playing this deep in the season. But I like their chances.
Bill Keane, every Wednesday here on Halftime, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Bill, let's transition to football. There's something going down there in Baton Rouge. I'm not going to say this is the only thing, but with Alexander and the booster situation, what do you make of what's going on down there and them paying a former player's dad?
Well, here's my question. If an offensive lineman, Vidal Alexander's dad, got $180 of $550,000 that was basically stolen by this booster guy, you telling me the offensive lineman was the guy that got paid but nobody else did? What do you think? Here's my question. What does Leonard Fournette cost? Was that free? I wouldn't think so. Now, I don't have any proof, but that's where my mind starts dancing. They didn't just uncover one guy, an offensive lineman, of all the places on the field, and I'm not saying that's not an important position, but it's not the one you think of, right? If you got 180, where's the other dispersal? Now, let's go conspiracy for your audience. You ready? Let's do this. Good conspiracy is always good for a show.
X-File music.
You've got the new AD down there, Scott Woodward, a guy I like a lot. I was telling you about him. He's a Baton Rouge guy. He's back home, left A&M. You realize who his quote daddy is, don't you? Mark Emmert. They're boys. Mark Emmert is that's his adopted dad, metaphorically speaking. When he left Baton Rouge the first time, he left with Mark Emmert to go to the University of Washington. They're boys. So, and I know Mark Emmert isn't a dictator who determines who's on probation and who isn't. It's obviously governing bodies and committees and things of that nature. But the top guy is boys with the top guy at LSU. It just makes you wonder a little bit.
Yeah, it never hurts to have someone with power in your wheelhouse in any circumstance.
Correct.
I agree with you 100%. And the figure, when you said it was the $180,000 figure release, and you mentioned that you think an offensive lineman was getting that, the possibility of other players getting that has to bring me back, Bill, to Cam Newton, Cecil apparently being offered $180K by Mississippi State, and then him going to Auburn for free. That's the first thing I saw when I saw this figure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They never got to the bottom of that one, did they?
No, that just was kind of shuffled under the rug, wasn't it? It seems like they probably don't want that being told. But, I mean, it happened with Reggie, so it's weird how the NCAA picks on what to pursue and what not to pursue. There's no justification of making a decision or choosing to enforce something there. So
right.
It's
very inconsistent.
It's a wild, wild west. Speaking of the NCAA, they're meeting today. I saw Dan Wolkin put this out, USA Today, about tightening guidelines around transferred players and just stuff kind of surrounding that. I know you're in favor of this. If there was a rule or just a change that was put in place, what would you do with how the transfer portal is being used and kids are transferring?
I wouldn't allow him unless there's a good reason, and it can't be because of a depth chart. You can't have unfettered transfers. You just can't. It's chaotic. It makes no sense. It sets a horrible precedent, too. A mindset. I can just bail on out of here. I don't think you ought to be able to do that. I just don't see it. Or, I don't know, you could set up some sort of red shirt rule or do something where everybody's got one freebie. I don't know. But that would cause chaos as well. I don't think you ought to transfer. I'd like without being punished, unless there's a good reason. Okay, you're way off at school and a parent is struggling health-wise. Legitimately, you need to get closer to home. That's legit. There needs to be provisions, but it can't just be unfettered. Tate Martell knows. I'm sure Ryan Day told him, you're not playing here. Matter of fact, we should never have signed you in the first place. So determine what you want to do, but you're not playing here. We just got Justin Fields. Justin Fields isn't at Ohio State for any other reason than I can't beat out Jake Fromm. I thought Jake would just lay it down and give it to me. You can't be having that. But what's unfair now is, okay, they're going to meet and maybe tighten this thing back up. So everybody that got through in the first wave, they're good. And now everybody else behind them is going to be punished. So it's so ridiculous.
That's the way to lay it out there. So that's the NCAA for you. Bill Key, Nashville Sports Radio, every Wednesday on halftime. Bill, I know you at least know who Chris Lowe is, ESPN.com. I don't know if you were able to see his article talking about Clemson. And it's more of a piece talking about how Clemson has owned the SEC. Do you agree with the statement that Clemson has owned the SEC lately since 2012?
Well, we mainly think of the matchup between Clemson and Bama. They played Auburn recently, et cetera. Owned them, I think, is harsh. I wouldn't say owned them. Now, are they good enough? If they were in the SEC, would they be a hell of a threat to win it? Oh, absolutely. It's a much more difficult route they would have to take because right now, Clemson doesn't play anybody that matches up with them. The league's down. Florida State's down. Syracuse is the only one playing them tough. Really? Syracuse is 1-1 against them last 2 years. So it's just an easy route. But owning, and I've known Chris forever. I wouldn't, if the term is used, owning, I wouldn't go.
Bill, we always make fun of the Pac-12, but the ACC as a whole, Clemson's really just been holding that conference up, especially with Jimbo going to FSU and just other different factors why the conference hasn't been good. In terms of where those two are, the Pac-12 of the Power 5 conferences, you dub it as the Power 4, is at the bottom. How far down is the ACC being its football is just not where it needs to be right now?
Well, I'd say we would go SEC, Big Ten. And then after that, I would probably put the Pac-12 last. And then I would shuffle the Big 12 and the ACC somehow. Now, let's think about the ACC. Fuente started off well, hadn't been so good since. Florida State's down. Georgia Tech's got new leadership in Jeff Collins. Louisville, I think, is going to build back up. Watch out for them. Syracuse is coming off their best year, Dino Babers, since the early 2000s. So give them their compliments. Miami, we've got no idea what we got in Miami. I don't think they've had a quarterback. But Manny Diaz has never been a head coach. We're trying to figure that out, too. So I think it's significantly down. NC State's a pretty well-coached team. Maryland is geographically a place. And I know nobody ever thinks of Maryland because in our lifetimes, has Maryland done much? Not really. Geographically speaking, Maryland is the kind of place, if you've got the right guy in there to recruit, you're loaded with talent up and down that eastern seaboard. That is defensive lineman heaven through there. So somebody that got the Maryland job and could get the local, and I just mean the region, to come to Maryland geographically can win there. Matter of fact, could win a lot there, but nobody's been able to harness that. At least since Bobby Ross was there, he did a little bit back in the day, but it's been a long time.
Bill, let me top off the interview with this. I know you had Kevin Hagan on. What's the latest news coming out of Tuscaloosa?
Oh, well, I mean, there's a million different things, but I would say, just for the audience, there's a running back in Houston named Zachary Evans. He's the top-rated running back in America. And he is considered maybe generational. Now, again, I hesitate with that. That's easy to say, right? Not many generational running backs come out. They're very, very rare. You don't hand that out. And it looks like Alabama's got a really good chance to get it. And he may do it sometime this summer to get it out of the way before his high school season starts. But he's a heck of a back out of there, and we'll see what happens. But look, they think they're going to get everybody, and they typically get almost all that they need. You got to remember the backup quarterback this year could be Talia Tagovailoa, the brother. So who knows?
As always, we appreciate Bill joining us every Wednesday. Bill,
okay.
I'll see you down in Nashville next weekend, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, coming up, closing down shop here at the Fort. This is Halftime, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Tye Sports Radio.
It's Ram Truck Month at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on 2018 and 2019 Ram 1500 Classics or 2018 Ram 2500 or 3500. Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has a great selection of Ram trucks to choose from. Hurry, this offer ends July 1st. Come see us at Williams Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Stigler, Oklahoma. Some restrictions do apply. See dealer for details.
You spend a lot of time worrying about your family, so you shouldn't have to worry about your tires. Protect what matters to you with Michelin tires and experience a clever combination of confidence and performance. This summer, drive away with extra savings too. Between June 12th and July 11th, get a $70 reward card after submission with purchase of 4 new Michelin passenger and light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith. See MichelinMan.com/promo for complete offer details. Offer expires 7/11/2019. Void where prohibited.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. So we brew our beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. Those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. And that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and a crisp, clean taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who live fit, live fun, live ultra. Enjoy responsibly. 2018 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams of protein, and 0 grams fat for 12 ounces.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, the Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, controlled access, and card readers. Call the Fence Man for a quick, no obligations quote. 479-782-3936. That's 782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has the best burger in town. And every Saturday, enjoy any burger at Art's and get $1 off. Try Art's Bacon Cheeseburger, topped with house smoked bacon, or the Art Attack with bacon, ham, and a fried egg. And all of Art's burgers come with a mound of fresh cut fries, or upgrade to Art's homemade onion rings. $1 off all burgers every Saturday at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, 8203 Rogers Avenue, next to Aaron's in Fort Smith.
That's the secret phone. The what? Remember? I told you my dad's a shelter agent. When that phone rings, he rushes out to save the day. Whether someone's home or car gets damaged, my dad is always there to help. He has the coolest job ever.
Well, my dad's an astronaut.
That's cool too, I guess.
Find your insurance superhero at shelterinsurance.com.
Ask shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
Summertime is fun time, and we're all about it at Rath Auto Resources. Hi, folks. Larry Rath here with exciting news about our summer sales drive. We're out to break every sales record this summer, and we're doing it with extra for trades, fast, easy financing for every situation, and huge discounts on our entire Rath Road Ready inventory. Like these special purchase 2018 Toyota Corolla LEs for only $1,400 $14,848 or $0 down and $229 a month while they last. Plus, we'll be giving away a showroom full of summer fun prizes, including a grand prize trip to Big Cedar Lodge. Or let us take care of the car you have with buy 3, get 1 free on all tires, free AC checks, and 10% off all AC work in our Meineke Car Care Center. Don't wait. Give us a call, go online, or visit us today to save some real money on a nicer, newer car and register to win fun prizes during the summer sales drive at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources, and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
No purchase necessary. 0 down payment with approved credit. See dealer for details.
We were on a break!
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Tye Richardson.
Of course, if the umps are watching me close, I just rub a little jalapeno inside my nose, get it running, and if I need to load the ball up a little, just wipe my nose.
You put snot on the ball?
I haven't got an arm like yours. I got to put anything on it I can find.
Closing down shop here, ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com. Andrew Hutchinson, Hog Beat Rivals, kind enough to join me today. We went over a lot of good topics, and I'm just, man, all this talk about football, we're still 2 months away, but I am super duper excited for that first snap against Portland State, as I know you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more excited just to get to fall camp. I mean, that's a big time for us media folks. We get a chance to see what they look like and see some of the new faces that we've covered in recruiting and see what they look like in up against the other Razorbacks. So that's really kind of the next big thing on my list of things. Even past SEC Media Days. SEC Media Days okay, but fall camp is really where it starts getting into it.
And one of the pieces of content that you'll be able to hit on over and over again is the competition between Nick Starkel and Ben Hicks. And we've known about this for quite some time, but we haven't necessarily got to see it extensively. Well, fall camp, you're going to get to see it. I know we're only limited as media to see a certain portion of practice, but even then, that's more than we've gotten to see these two guys compete.
Exactly. All my knowledge of Nick Starkel right now is just the little bit of playing time he had at Texas A&M that year where he started half the season. But I'm anxious to see how he kind of adjusts, how quickly he picks up on the playbook, things like that, because that's going to dictate how quickly he sees the field and maybe even overtakes Ben Hicks for that starting job.
And that's going to be the storyline associated with this football team the rest of the way, is that quarterback position. And I know there's other question marks you have with this football team, and there's a lot of them, unfortunately, for Arkansas fans, but the most drawing sense of attention, the most glaring where fans are going to be looking at week in, week out, day in, day out, and they're going to be reading your stuff and everyone else's is what's the quarterback battle? What's this like? Where's the debate? Because you had it last year, but I think fans, we talked about this earlier, fans are just a lot more excited, and there's just under the assumption that the quarterback position, regardless if it's Starkel or Hicks, is going to be better off than what it was last year.
Yeah, the quarterback is always the number one story. I mean, even a couple of years ago when Austin Allen was the unquestioned starting quarterback, one of the top storylines was who's going to be the backup? Was it going to be Cole Kelly? Is it going to be Ty Story or whoever it was that was on campus that year? But I remember the backup quarterback being a number one story just because it's such a the position. I mean, you have to have a quarterback to be successful in college football, but also it's the position everyone points to. They get all the praise, they get all the blame, whether or not that it's fair. So yeah, the quarterback is definitely something that is definitely going to probably draw some page views on our site and draw a lot of listeners on the airwaves. So it's definitely something exciting for us as media people to get a taste of here in about a month.
I was talking to Brad Crawford earlier this week, 24/7 Sports, about how quarterback-driven the Heisman race is going to be this year with the likes of Herbert, Hurts, Tua, Fromm, Trevor Lawrence, and Eason, and there's Justin Fields. I mean, I would be shocked, man, if every single position wasn't a quarterback in New York by the end of the year. So we'll see what happens. Hutch, thanks for coming in today. You got a quick PSA, I think?
Yeah. If y'all want to see any of my stuff, hit up hogbeat.com, and we actually have a promo going on right now, 30 days free. Check it out. You'll see all of my content on there with me and Nikki.
All right, Andrew, thanks for coming in. Matt Jones, former Arkansas quarterback, joins me in studio tomorrow. Halftime. We'll talk to you then.
When you think about the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, you think about winning. And with
financing and huge spring savings on new Buicks at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 2019 Buick Encore, only $18,999 or just $299 a month. That's a 2019 for under $19,000. Or get 0% financing for 72 months on most Buick models, including the Cascada, Encore, Regal, LaCrosse, and Envision. Spring into savings at the #1 Buick dealer in the country, Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
It's your piece of land. this story to get out as publicly as it is, I don't underestimate its seriousness.
I'd underestimate it. I underestimate the ability for the Houston Rockets to pull this off. I underestimate the incentive for the Philadelphia 76ers to accommodate this kind of deal. I'm curious to see this kind of extreme, to see this kind of commitment, to see this kind of deviance on the basketball court. I am curious to see just how combustible Jimmy Butler, Chris Paul, and James Harden would be. And that's Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less, only at Walmart. But while I can't see a sign and trade between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Houston Rockets for Jimmy Butler making sense, as long as we're talking potential trades in the NBA, I do think there's a scenario coming down the line. I do think there's a roster that's going to have to be managed among its superstars. And I do think circumstances are going to require that the dynasty of our time, the Golden State Warriors, consider trading one of their big stars and consider trading him sooner rather than later. Golden State Warriors are going to have to figure out if they're going to be able to pay Kevin Durant and keep Kevin Durant. They're going to assuredly be throwing all the money they can at Klay Thompson. But when it comes to Draymond Green, might the Warriors need to consider trading him while they still have a chance to get something back? Should the Warriors consider trading Draymond Green? That's coming up straight ahead on the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game when you can get the same seats for $50. Why pay more for your wireless when you get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. Draymond Green could be gone in a year from the Golden State Warriors. What might they consider trading him right now? It's next on the Will Cain Show.
This shows Will Cain being escorted to his seat. When he walked out, it was the loudest booze I had ever heard. He loved it, and he turned to who was escorting him. Did you get that for social?
Don't worry, more Will Cain is coming up.
This summer, take a road trip to complete your baseball stadium bucket list. When you do, stay at La Quinta by Wyndham Hotel, where you can now earn and redeem Wyndham Rewards points at La Quinta and thousands of other Wyndham Rewards properties worldwide. Plus, free bright side breakfast and the free high-speed Wi-Fi so you can stay in the work zone while you're away. Well, with perks like these, you're going, gone. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you try it. Book direct at LQ.com.
Welcome to Sherwin-Williams. Hi there. I heard paints are 30% off. Yep, and stains too. Right here. Only at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Right now? Well, June 21st through July 8th. Bring it in. I'm a big hugger. It's cold. Ask Sherwin-Williams June 21st through July 8th and save 30% on paints and stains with sale prices starting at $26.94. Only at your local Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
This is halftime.
You've had players commit to Eric Musselman and then decommit 3 months later, not even 3 months later in the case of Isaiah Moss. You've had a lot of comings and a lot of goings. You've had the Chandler Morris commitment to play quarterback for his father's team. I don't know. You're going to tell me that this is not what the